Funding for the gamernicholas08 show is provided by nobody. I'm not getting paid for this. Part 1. Introduction. The computer. It is a mainstay in modern life and an innovation in its own right. But for a computer to run, you need software to run it. That leads to the innovation of the operating system, the soul of the computer. An operating system is a program that allows your computer to function. This allows programs to be written without all the code for the computer to work in the first place for better development. For instance, disk space, RAM, CPU power, booting up the thing in the first place. You know, the normal stuff. Part 2. History of the operating system. The first operating system was the GMANAAI/O input-output system of the General Motors of North American Aviation in 1956. Try saying that 5 times fast. What, I'm not gonna do it. You think I'm a crazy person? No, I'm not gonna try that. This OS was made for those old PCs that took up a room and ran slower than a TI-86 graphing calculator. You know the kind. Eventually, we got the power of microcomputers, a popular one for home use being Apple II in 1977. It might have also been one of the first microcomputers small enough to fit into a home. I don't know, I didn't look that far into it. Maybe skipping a little bit of history, but I don't care. In 1981, we were blessed to get the MS-DOS, one of the classic operating systems everybody knows about. Eventually, Microsoft, the creator of MS-DOS, would make Windows, a series of operating systems still thriving today. I should know because that's the version I use. Part 3. The operating system today. So now we're in 2021 and we're still using operating systems to this day. I know, crazy, right? Let's go through some of them, a retrospective if you will. As mentioned earlier, Microsoft Windows is still going strong with their latest operating system being Windows 10. Most people use Windows for their home computers, and it makes sense. Their competition is either A, only available on overpriced crap, or B, you need a PhD in rocket science to understand it. So Apple and their macOS is popular with Apple fanboys. Ooh boy. Now look, it's okay if you like Apple, but I don't. So if you have a problem, then let's resolve it peacefully and come to a new understanding. I don't like Apple due to their prices and how they're ran, but the software is good, I guess? I don't know anything about Mac or Apple's phone OS, iOS, but we'll get to iOS later. As for Mac's latest release, it's 11.3. Now onto Linux. Linux is an open source OS, so most builds of Linux are made by different people for different reasons. I mean, you got more versions of Linux than flavors of ice cream, but just like flavors of ice cream, there's a flavor for everyone. Unless if you hate ice cream, then what are you doing with your life? Another noteworthy fact is that Linux is stereotyped as the most complicated OS in the modern day, so only nerds know how to use it. And it's safe to say, I don't know if it is or not. To be honest, I grew up in a Windows and Android household, so now that I've talked about PC operating systems, now it's time to get into the mobile OS. Wait a moment, I forgot about Chrome OS. It's Android, but for laptops, and unlike Android, it's bad! Enough said. Part 4. The smartphone operating systems. We talked about computers that use mouse and keyboard, but what about the ones that use touchscreen? Smartphones are bigger than ever, and they have their own operating systems that we can talk about. So let's start with the one that nobody cares about, the Windows Phone. Now that we've mentioned it, let's talk about iOS. The iPhone is one of the biggest brands of smartphones, and I don't like them. But we're not here to criticize the iPhone, we're here to talk about its exclusive operating system, iOS. iOS does the job, but due to iOS being closed source and not allowing anything from the iOS App Store to be launched without a blood sacrifice from your firstborn child, it is considered one of the most secure phone operating systems. Also, iOS is on version 14.5.1, if anybody wanted to know. Personally, I prefer something more open, like Android. Android is my preferred operating system, is what I'm trying to say. Android is open source and based on the Linux kernel of all things. It's also owned by Google, but anybody can just use Android on any phone. Android also, unlike some operating systems, allows third-party downloads off the browser, for better or for worse. Also, Android is currently on version 11. Part 5. Conclusion. I'm sorry, I got distracted talking about different operating systems in the modern day. What was my point again? Oh yeah, it was how operating systems are computing innovation. Computers wouldn't work like what we have today without programming of an operating machine. Operating systems are an essential part of the computer, and the computer has become a central part of modern society. So whenever you used to do anything on a PC, it would not be possible without the operating system. You know what? That's good enough. I'm done trying. That wasn't scripted. I just thought it was going to be funny.